Hi everyone, Toomphany Dead Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Flying Lotus record, You're Dead. Flying Lotus is a West Coast music producer known for his incredibly forward-thinking fusion of jazz, electronic music, hip-hop. He's also a label head over at Brainfeeder Records. Many people consider him to have dropped albums that are modern classics like Los Angeles and Cosmogramma. And on his fifth album here, he is following up what I consider to be one of the more underwhelming records in his discography, Until the Quiet Comes. A record where I think stylistically he was treading a little bit of water. Some songs on this album sounded like they could have come off of his Pattern Grid World EP, but this album also featured some of his most just subtle and toned down material yet. It just kind of fell into the background for me whenever I would play it, which is kind of an issue I have with many Brainfeeder Records releases. So I walked away from this project looking forward to Flylo's next project, hoping for something a little more lively, a little more refreshing, and with You're Dead, I got that. One of the most notable changes right from the get-go on this album is that there are more vocal features on this LP. Some honest-to-God rap verses from Kendrick Lamar and Snoop Dogg. Angel Dorian of Dirty Projectors fame lands on this record. Nicky Randa, who is a prior collaborator with Flying Lotus, and Thundercat as well, who is not only on this album vocally, but bassily as well, I'm sure. And as if we didn't see this coming, Flying Lotus also appears on this record vocally as his low-pitched alter ego, Captain Murphy, who many of you may remember from his once anonymous solo effort not too long ago. Something else to note with this record is that it's 38 minutes, one of the shorter albums in Flylo's discography thus far. But I also think You're Dead is one of Flylo's most upbeat and active albums as well. I think this record has the jazzy density of Cosmogramma without all the meandering and the atmosphere. The music that occurs on this record is very tangible, it's very bold, it's very forceful. This record twists and turns and tumbles and flips like a gymnast. But an issue that I think some people may have with this album is that some of the tracks, some of the musical passages are rather short. They're kind of brief. They build up to a moment or they create an idea, but as soon as that idea is established, it's not really fleshed out as much as it is just transformed into something else. There are a lot of 1-minute tracks on this record, and in that regard, this album can be compared to something like Jay Dilla's Donuts or even a Madlib instrumental album. But I think a lot of the pieces of this sonic ear candy, though it may be short, effectively builds off of one another, enhances one another. Some of the short but amazing musical experiences that these little tracks bring are incredible. Right from the start of this record, the intro, where we're getting these heavy orchestral strings, just this dense instrumentation. It's so huge, it's so massive, I just really feel it. And even though the song ends in about 1:24, it glides quite perfectly into the next track, which introduces some great bass lines, some killer drums, some good keys, and this jazz fusion feel gets just turned up. The heat gets turned up on the next song, Cold Dead, which is just some explosive jazz rock, some distorted riffs on this track, mixed with these atmospheric musical passages of saxophone and keyboards. This album really is Flying Lotus's Bitches Brew, or even his Music Is One Note. Coming up not too soon after this track is Never Catch Me with Kendrick Lamar. I did a track review for this song. I will link it at the end of this video. You can watch it there. I'm not going to dive too much deeper into my thoughts on this track here, but in that track review, I thought this track, while good, not amazing, but good, would sound better in the context of this album. And in fact, that happens. When this song comes on, it's like a fog or a smoke clears or some significant occurrence occurs. It's like Cinderella and you're watching this woman in a beautiful gown just come down the stairway, ready to have fun at the ball. It's not like you're just getting one tiny unfinished song after another with You're Dead. If you just completely ignore the track listing and don't look at the track listing while you're listening to this album, the entire record sounds like one holistic piece. It may jump around a little bit, but it features some interesting and nicely crafted segues. This is a sensation I also get from from Until the Quiet Comes, but it feels so much stronger on You're Dead. This album is easily Flying Lotus's most holistic project yet. And even though I love that about this record, and I think this is a fantastic record, it's not without its underwhelming moments, which come here and there. It's a handful of tracks, namely Dead Man's Tetris with Snoop Dogg. His verse, his guest verse, is kind of underwhelming. It's not really anything to write home about. Plus, for whatever reason, this instrumental is far more modulated, especially toward the end, than any other beat on this record. Kind of ruins the flavor of the track, for me anyway. But it's not like this record ever hits a lull anywhere. Every time I find a track that it's just okay, the album picks right back up with a great song. It does so right here with Turkey Dog Coma, which features some incredible drumming, and there is great drumming all over this record, some great rhythms all over this record, but here particularly, the rhythms are intense. Moving from there, we have the lovely and amazing vocal interlude, CORONUS, the Terminator, really chilling and heavenly song. I love the group vocals on this track. They're absolutely stunning. Flying Lotus is doing a better and better job with each record, just honing and crafting and finding gorgeous sounds. Flying Lotus continues to weave this really cohesive musical tapestry with the song Turtles, which features some great hand percussion, some blissful female vocals, some ascending and descending bass lines. Ready or Not, which kind of feels like a little introspective bit of mid-90s IDM with a really quirky drum loop that you know only Flying Lotus would use. Descent into Madness with Thundercat is fantastic. Melodically and chord-wise as well, to me this kind of feels like an interlude that would land on like a King Crimson album, and Thundercat's typically falsetto vocals are very nice on this track. Then immediately after we get another vocal appearance from Captain Murphy, or Flying Lotus himself, and he is singing here in falsetto as well. It's like a bit of warped soul music from the 70s or the 80s. It's kind of funky, but kind of slow and strange as well. And he's singing about pills and just generally being unhappy. To me, this song kind of feels like what Tyler, the Creator, wishes some of his songs sounded like. And this song is a serious risk. It's like the weirdest track on the entire LP, but my one disappointment with it is not that the experiment fails, but Flying Lotus just fades it out, which is just, ugh. He was doing so well making one track segue to another. Why would you just flush this one down the toilet? If you're gonna do something this weird, stick with it, finish it. The second to last track on this LP is incredibly orchestral, just like the intro. It kind of glides into an anticlimactic closer, but I still ended up loving this LP. It was a serious journey. It was colorful and varied and dynamic, had a lot of personality. Each song had its own little unique direction and flavor, and yet it just came together so well. I'm giving this record a strong 8 to a light 9. I'm loving it. I'm feeling it. Transition. If you've given this LP a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano, Flying Lotus, forever.